Jan, Job Accommodation Network, Practical Solutions, Workplace Success, 800-526-7234 for voice, 877-781-9403 for TTY. AskJan.org.
Deciding whether to disclose a disability during an interview. Jordan is a candidate applying for a position as an administrative assistant. She has been out of work for a year and is anxious about her interview. Jordan enters and then sits across the desk from her vocational rehabilitation counselor, Sophia, as they discuss Jordan's upcoming job interview.
Hi, Sophia.
Hello, Jordan. How goes the job search?
Oh, well, good news for a change. So I have an interview next week with TSW Manufacturing. It's for a full-time administrative assistant role.
It's great news, Jordan. How do you feel about the interview? Anything you want to talk through?
Well, as a matter of fact, there is something I'm unsure about. I want to tell them about my anxiety and depression, just to explain why I wasn't working for a year and to make sure that it's a good situation for me and that it's supportive.
I understand. There are pros and cons to disclosing a disability. Is this the first interview with this company?
Yes, it's the first interview. It's with a guy named Jeff from HR.
Every situation's unique, and you need to do what makes the most sense for you. It can be a good idea to share this information, and it is, of course, your decision.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there are employers who are reluctant about hiring candidates who disclose a disability.
I just want to be honest from the start. You know, I don't want to have to make up reasons why I was off work. I want to tell them what really happened. Also, I've lost jobs in the past where I couldn't concentrate because there was so much chaos and noise in my work area. I just want to make sure it's the right situation for me.
I understand.
Yeah.
Since you don't need any accommodations for the interview, you could also wait to talk about your disability if you get the job.
Jordan nods favorably.
Another option would be to offer a more general reason why you were not working. Something like taking care of a personal situation. And since you don't need any accommodations for the interview, you could also wait to talk about the work environment if you get the job.
I understand what you're saying. I guess I'll think about it and see how I feel in the interview.
It can be a tough decision when and who to talk about your disability with. I'm glad that you are taking the time to think it through ahead of time. This way, you're better prepared for the interview. And the main focus for the interview should be on your qualifications.
Honestly, it just feels so uncomfortable to have to hide who I am. I mean, it's a part of my identity.
This is more about timing, Jordan. Just deciding what is the best time and way to share this information.
Okay. I mean, I don't do interviews that often, so I guess that makes sense.
It's always a good practice to keep an interview focused on your experience, skills, and how excited you are for the role. You have a lot to offer this company, and this is their main focus at this stage of the process.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that we had this talk. I'll let you know how the interview goes.
Please do. And good luck.
Thank you.
Jeff, an HR business partner, hangs up the phone, acknowledges Jordan, and waves her in. Still apprehensive about her interview, Jordan enters and sits across the desk from Jeff. Jeff has pen in hand and a notebook to take notes throughout the interview.
I'll talk to you soon. Come on in. Have a seat. Jordan, right?
Yes, I'm Jordan.
Jordan looks around quizzically.
Pretty boring office, huh? My regular office is much more interesting. We have this space to hold interviews around the lobby. I see you've applied for the administrative assistant role in ops. Is that correct?
Yes. I've done some admin work before, and I thought the role would be a good fit.
I see you have 6 years of experience, but you've been out of work for about a year.
Well, I don't know how much detail to go into, but I was managing some personal things in my life. a health condition, and I just needed to focus on that for a while.
Okay, I see. So do you feel like you're ready to go back to work full-time now?
Yes, I'm really ready. I actually think that working would be the best thing at this point right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good fit for this job.
Seemingly distracted, Jeff looks at his watch.
I'm proficient at all Microsoft apps. I have experience making travel arrangements, including global arrangements. And I enjoy helping plan and preparing for meetings.
Good, good. So is there anything else that you'd like to share with me or something that you're curious about?
There is one thing that I'm curious about.
Okay.
How is the noise in the area where I would be working? I just find that I do better in environments where there isn't a whole lot of distractions.
Well, the area does get pretty noisy. But if I recall correctly, this particular role is situated in an area where it's all offices. So you will have your fair amount of interruptions when people are looking for information or when they're arriving for meetings. Is that a concern?
Yes, I know that the admin role, by its nature calls for good customer service skills and helping people, as their needs arise.
Mm-hmm. So what were you thinking you may need in case the area does get noisy?
Well, it depends on the setup of your office.
Okay.
It could be something simple as just turning my desk away from a noisy hallway and setting up a mirror so that I can see if someone is trying to get my attention, or maybe even using noise canceling headphones.
Okay, not a problem. I've seen many others use the same type of strategies as well. I will schedule an interview with the manager for the role and a few others for next week.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, Jordan.
Jordan and Jeff
It was
shake
nice meeting
hands.
you as well. And I really hope that I get this job. I've heard great things about TSW.
Thanks again for coming in. Have a nice day.
You too.
One week later, Jordan stands outside TSW's headquarters and calls Sophia, who is seated behind her desk.
Sophia speaking.
Hi, Sophia. It's Jordan. Good news. I got a job offer from TSW today. I'm holding it in my hand.
Congratulations, Jordan. That's great news. When do you start?
They want me to start right away. My first day is next week.
So I have to ask, how did you decide to handle what to say about your disability?
Well, I thought a lot about what you said, and in the end, I didn't mention anything about my disability. But I did mention that I took some time off of work because of a health condition. So I feel like I was honest. And I also asked about my work area and ways to manage noise. So I feel a lot more confident about my first day at work.
That's great. Sounds like you struck a nice balance.
I just wish that things were different. I see my depression and anxiety as an important part of my identity, and I wanted to be upfront about it, like I am about other aspects of who I am.
It is an important part of who you are. It's just a matter of timing, Jordan. Once you get to know your manager and coworkers, or if you need any accommodations to do well at your job, that might be a good time to share more about yourself.
Well, I hope I know the right time to talk about my depression and anxiety at work.
I'm confident you will, Jordan. And you can always call me if you want to talk it through when the time comes. Have you told your family and friends? I bet they're really excited for you.
In producing these videos, we were committed to recruiting talent that appropriately reflects the diversity of the U.S. Thus, both actors with and without disabilities were featured in these videos. Special thanks to Deb Daggett, Diversity.com, and NoBarriersMedia.com for their valuable contributions to the production of this video. This video was developed and produced by the Job Accommodation Network, JAN. JAN is funded by a contract with the Office of Disability Employment Policy, U.S. Department of Labor, contract number 1605DC17C0038. This video does not necessarily reflect the views or policies of the Office of Disability Employment Policy, nor does mention of trade names, commercial products, or organizations imply endorsement by the U.S. Department of Labor.